What's up, everyone? It's Wednesday. I'm Coy. This is CNN 10, and you are awesome. We're going to start today with a follow-up on the World Cup being played in the Middle Eastern country of Qatar. Yesterday was a huge soccer match between the USA and Iran, not just because it was a win-or-go-home match for USA, or that it was a win or draw or go home for Iran, but because of the political talking points surrounding the match. Some World Cup teams have been showing solidarity with anti-regime protesters in Iran who are fighting for women's rights. Some Iranian players even refrained from singing the national anthem ahead of their first match to show solidarity with protesters. But things really got heated when the U.S. Soccer Federation altered the Iranian flag on one of their graphics online, removing the Islamic emblem from the center of it. As a result, Iran called for FIFA, the World Cup organizers, to ban Team USA from the World Cup. That didn't happen. And all this adding attention ahead of the match. Players from both sides, while they do care about issues outside of sport, they really want to just focus on the game and their dream of playing in a World Cup. On Tuesday, the match finally arrived, and CNN correspondent Andy Scholes was at a watch party to take in the action.
Coy, the party is on here in the U.S. at Fado Irish Pub in Atlanta, Georgia, as Team USA is moving on. They had only scored one goal since June, and that was against Wales last week in their opening game of the World Cup. The fans here tense, waiting for the goal because they had to win the game. A tie wouldn't cut it this time around. Into the 38th minute, this place just exploded when Christian Pulisic came through with that goal to give the USA the 1-0 lead. They would hold on to win by that final score, and they are now moving on to face the Netherlands.
It was incredible. I thought we played the first half brilliantly. Towards the end, I was a little scared when we went defensive, but in the end, it all worked out.
So proud, so ready to go next round. I think we're going to kill it.
This team is young, they're hungry, they don't stop. 90 minutes strong. We got through it today. So happy. Unbelievable win for the USA. Let's go, baby, all the way.
And Coy, as you can see, this win meant so much for Team USA and their fans. And hey, the good news is we get to do it all over again on Saturday.
All right, as we mentioned yesterday, the world's largest active volcano, Mauna Loa in Hawaii, has erupted for the first time in nearly 40 years. Its neighbor, the Kilauea volcano, sits just 21 miles away, and it began erupting more than a year ago. So this rare dual eruption is expected to attract visitors from all over the world, actually. Next, we're traveling to Hawaii with senior national correspondent Sarah Seidner, who recently flew over volcanoes in Hawaii to get a better understanding of the changing landscape and the science behind and under volcanoes.
As the sun rises each morning here in Hilo, Hawaii, it reveals destruction and creation happening simultaneously at the heart of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. I witnessed this from new heights with pilot and volcano expert Samantha Hansen. From up above, the full scale of volcanic activity is clear.
You look out here across the horizon, you see all these like little mini mountains out here, and these are all cinder cones. So they're almost like mini volcanoes right on the side of the big volcano. This whole thing right here that we're flying over right now, this is Mauna Loa, and this is the largest volcano on our planet.
You really see how the lava spread out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very apparent.
If you were to cut the island in half, it would look like Swiss cheese. It's just riddled with these lava tubes. As the island gets bigger and bigger, right, those lava tubes kind of, build on each other.
But most of the volcano isn't what you see here. It's underwater, where eruptions can and do occur, like the massive explosion in the waters off Tonga, just one of the over 1,300 potentially active volcanoes worldwide, capable of creating earthquakes, tsunamis, and entirely reshaping the landscape. One of the most devastating eruptions in Hawaii happened here in 2018 at Mount Kilauea, where we joined volcanologist Kendra Lynn.
This was the most significant collapse event that's really been recorded and observed since Western visitors arrived at the volcano.
Lava at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit crept across the island, oozed over homes and roads, and burst out of fissures. The eruption went on for over 100 days, destroying more than 700 homes and forcing thousands to evacuate. That one event dramatically changed the landscape.
Here at the summit, almost daily there was a magnitude 5 earthquake as all of these rocks just started to collapse in on themselves and create the new crater, which are kind of larger.
And the destruction brought a new course of exploration for Kendra, the study of rocks and how they form.
We often look to the rock record and the different types of rocks that are preserved around the volcano to understand past behavior. We look for patterns that might clue us in to how the volcano will behave in the future.
Is there any prediction as to when the next eruption might be or what it's going to look like?
It's difficult to say when, but we do know for sure that it will happen again someday.
Scientists are working hard to determine just how catastrophic that eruption might be.
What's really remarkable about Hawaii is that it's a living landscape. It's a place where the volcano breathes. We can see the steam breathing from the crater. We can feel the movement of the earth. We can see land being created as we speak. And it's a place where we can really become in touch with nature.
10-second trivia. Which of these American retailers started in 1886 as a watch company? Sears, Target, Big Lots, or Costco? Considered to be the Amazon or Walmart of its day, Sears went on to become one of America's biggest retailers. Once America's largest retailer and business employer with an extensive retail network, Sears has struggled in the 21st century. It had more than 350,000 employees in 2006, but today there are only 15 full-line Sears stores still open across the country, and the company filed for bankruptcy years ago. We'll hear now from CNN's Rachel Crane on the slow demise of the iconic chain and how it was once both the Amazon and Walmart of its day.
Sears is in trouble, closing thousands of stores and losing billions of dollars. But once upon a time, Sears transformed the way Americans shopped. Back in the late 1800s in Minnesota, Richard Sears was spending his days as a railroad station agent. Until one day, he sold some watches from a local jeweler and realized he was really good at selling. So in 1886, he started a mail-order company, the R.W. Sears Watch Company, and eventually hired a watchmaker, Alva C. Roebuck. And in 1893, Sears, Roebuck & Co. was born. Sears then became a very successful mail-order catalog company. This business model broke the mold. Remember, most Americans were living in small towns with access to only a few stores. They often made their own clothes and furniture, or did without. Sears' early catalogs only featured watches and jewelry, but soon, these catalogs were more than 500 pages long. People could buy anything from shoes, wagons, stoves, and musical instruments. Sometimes, people even bought their homes directly from Sears. And because Sears bought in bulk, the company was able to charge customers lower prices. In 1925, Sears opened its first retail location in Chicago. And it wasn't just retail. Sears had a radio station, a mortgage business, a credit card. Sears was everywhere. Annual sales hit $1 billion in 1945. The next year, sales doubled. Once Americans started to move to the booming suburbs after World War II, Sears began investing to help build malls. By 1970, Sears was considered untouchable by its rivals. But not all stories have a happy ending. As the 20th century came to a close, so did Sears' reign.
For today's 10 out of 10, check out this house. University of Maine unveiling the world's first bio-based 3D printed house in partnership with the U.S. Department of Energy. It's a sustainable composite home made of recycled material. The technology could be a solution to address the nation's affordable housing crisis while also helping the environment. And it's pretty darn pretty too, with some nice modern fixtures. So far, so good. If they're offering mortgage, they definitely have my interest. All right, shout out time now. Charlestown, Indiana, Charlestown High School, we see you. Also shout out to Miss Alexander from Stone Mountain, Georgia, who I got to meet here at CNN Center yesterday, and her student Rashamir, who picked out my tie today. Well done, sir. My team and I hope you and everyone watching around the world have a wonderful one. I'm Coy, and this is CNN 10.